Alrighty guys, so thank you so much for coming back to our YouTube channel. As always, it's me, Tatiana.
Sandra Zuniga.
Heather Hartman.
And we're here today to give you guys some more insight and information on ways to be safe and practice safety.
Heather is don't let me speak too much on it, but she's
I'm a former police detective. I was a detective in the homicide and sex crimes unit for just over 19 years. I retired about 4 years ago, and so now I have my own business, Hartman Tactics, where I focus on keeping women safe and providing you with that confidence, get their inner strength, see their value and competence in order to know that they can safely, take care of themselves and their families.
Another thing that you might want to add, I've actually taken her situational awareness class. Am I saying that correctly? And I've had a few lessons on how to operate a gun, right?
Yes.
Is that correct?
So I teach situational awareness for women, women and families. I also teach introduction to handgun courses, which starts with the beginner. So we break it down from, this is a pistol, these are the parts of the pistol, and we build on that so that you feel confident leaving my class after the 4 hours.
I think that's super important too, because we were just talking about, I went to a gun range, right? And I said, well, we see it in the movies, we see it here, it's super easy. And all the mistakes that I would have made without the right education, probably wouldn't have 2 fingers right now. So I think it's really good to have these lessons.
There's a lot of firearm instructors out there, and I just think it's really important to do the research and find out the background and the certifications of the instructors you're going to. Make sure it's somebody you're not intimidated by. Make sure that you feel comfortable with them. Make sure they understand you and your unique needs, and that includes your fears. If you're somebody that is absolutely terrified, but this is something you want to try to overcome, make sure that you find that instructor who's going to understand that and be more patient and empathetic with you as well.
That's amazing. Now, someone like myself, if I want to take your course, how does that go?
You can look at my course description on my website, which is heartmantactics.com, but you would just fill out a little questionnaire. And as long as I know, because I want to kind of pre-screen a little bit to make sure that the person that's coming to take the class with me is legally eligible to own and operate a gun in the state of Texas.
Right. For sure.
Yeah. And then we'll just pick a date and time that works. And I keep my classes small because I believe in that one-on-one attention. So I keep it at 4. Sometimes I will make an exception to do 6 if it's like a group of friends that already feel comfortable with each other.
Right. And like I said earlier, I have taken her classes, and I thought a lot of the things that she spoke about I hadn't heard of or even thought of before. And I typically consider myself so I thought, that I'm mindful, and I watched, the white van that people see or seek out in the movies. Well, I'm that person, or the single male that's in the grocery store without a shopping cart. But when I first met Heather, I learned some things from her that I didn't previously know. So I think it's a very important class for anyone to use because it provides a lot of information about your situation and where you're at, and especially for us realtors or professionals in the industries like loan officers, insurance agents. I hate to say this, but mainly women. Why? Because obviously we're more vulnerable, right?
More vulnerable, yep. So I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Go ahead.
What was the one thing that sticks out that you learned in my class that you didn't know or you didn't think about?
That I didn't think about but makes perfect sense is the AirTag. Like that totally just blew my mind because how did I not know that? So I also work with truck drivers, and a lot of my truck drivers have the Apple AirTags that they put in their trucks in case they get stolen, because like any regular vehicle, they do get stolen. So long story short, I didn't realize that, I guess because I didn't have that mindset, or I don't have the mentality of harming people. But in the first class that I took with Heather, when I first met her, she said, that there's watch out for people. They'll drop an AirTag in your purse, in your pocket, wherever you're at, and they'll follow you. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I need to tell my daughter that. And then when I told my daughter, she's like, yes, Mom, I know that. Yeah. I'm thinking, how did you know that? And I didn't know that. Okay, that says a lot about my age, y'all, but I'm only 35. But anyway.
22.
I'm not even going there.
I'm kidding. No.
So 50.
No, she looks great. So am I, by the way.
I'm not. No. I'm 48. I'll just tell you. But
I'm 47. So
everybody's 20.
Yes.
I teach my situational awareness classes, and I do them for the average civilian as well as a realtor-specific class. And I have all this knowledge in my head just from life experience, from almost 20 years in law enforcement as well. And I can't possibly put everything into my presentation. Yeah. So I was at the mall at the Galleria with a girlfriend and sketchy parking garage. But anyways, all there was, listen, I was like, yeah, we'll get into that later. But there was a sign on the pillar in the parking lot, and it said shop safe. Besides obviously telling you to hide your valuables or take your valuables and lock your doors, it said disconnect your Bluetooth. And to me, I'm like, okay, that's a no-brainer. But my girlfriend was like, Heather, why do they want you to disconnect your Bluetooth? Well, a lot of people, I didn't realize that, so I'm sitting there going, oh my goodness, I bet a lot of people don't know this. Yeah, and that is not a rip or anything on anybody. It's just, but it was like these things that I was like, I'm gonna do a video. So when you have Bluetooth, so let's say you have a smartwatch or a secondary phone or a laptop or a computer in your vehicle.
iPad, whatever, yeah.
Whatever, iPad. Let's say you do all the right things and you hide it out of plain sight before you leave your home, before you get to your destination. Bad guys,
starting to connect now.
Criminals, wow. they have Bluetooth scanning devices, as well as there's applications that can look for active Bluetooth signals. Wow. So if they see your car, let's say you have a nice car, a Mercedes, and they're like, I wonder if there's anything in here. They turn their little scanner on. If it gives them an active signal for Bluetooth, they're likely going to take their chance, smash your window, go through your car, and find that device. So always disconnect the Bluetooth from whatever object it is that is in your vehicle before you leave your vehicle, because if they want to, they will find a way and they will do it.
And as time gets, as we progress in time, so does people's tactics. So it's good to have these type of classes.
What I want to backstep one more time, because I know we talked about my situational awareness, we talked about introduction to handguns, but I know not everybody wants to hold a gun or learn how to use and operate a gun. So in my situational awareness courses, even my realtor situational awareness courses, especially those courses, I introduce non-lethal as well as lethal means of personal protection. So I'll actually bring in my favorite devices, show you them, tell you how to get them, tell you the pros of each one of them and the cons. So just because we're talking handguns and stuff doesn't mean that you have to be somebody that wants to learn how to shoot a gun. That is not necessary, but you should understand the concept of situational awareness and some of the things you can do to be more situationally aware.
Absolutely, and I'm not against guns. I think we need guns. I don't want guns to ever be banned, but I personally don't like guns myself. But I had to make a decision that I had to start to at least learn how to hold a gun, how to load it, how to do all the things, how to stand, because that's very important. I didn't know that. Right. I didn't know that before I met Heather. I'm not a pro at it by any means, but at least I know I have that memory of the things that she's taught me, which, by the way, we need to practice some more. But it's very important. Even if a gun scares you, ignorance is a bliss. You have to try to at least learn how to operate one, or at least learn how to hold one. Another thing that you mentioned in your class is how many people get injured or get hurt by just cleaning a gun. Yeah, so all of that, yes. If you even have, so like let's say you're watching and your husband has a gun in the house, and let's say your husband travels a lot, even if you never want to use that, and I hope we never have to use them, but take a class so you're comfortable with it, because if it's in the house, you need to be able to educate yourself, and if you have children, they need to know their way around it as well. I'm not saying let them be around it, but kids will be kids, and we need to talk about how are we storing it, what are we teaching them as it pertains to guns, the level of safety, all the things. But let's just say you're home by yourself, husband's traveling, and you hear that glass break, and kiddo's sleeping in the bedroom. You know where the gun is, but do you know how to use it? Do you know how to chamber around? Do you know, are you mentally prepared to actually fire it, right? So my classes aren't scary, but they're real world, so I want to put these thought processes in your head so that you're thinking about them, before you operate a handgun. Another little tip I want to give you all, and I did it over the holidays more so, but I think about, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think about you all, the realtors, you're so busy, and you're going from one place to the next place to the next place. You're grabbing mail or grabbing brochures and throw it in the front seat of your car, and you're going to the next stop. Am I right so far? Yes, 100%.
So, and all your pretty faces are on the internet, on business cards, on signs in people's yard, maybe on a billboard. Am I right? Are you following me? Okay.
Yes.
So now, just like we have pedophiles, right? Like different strokes for different folks,
Right.
forgive me. But there's the people that are interested in, you guys are easy targets because you're going into empty houses with strangers every day, right?
100%.
So let's say they're like, whew, that Sandra girl, man, I think she's cute, right? And they're just kind of paying attention, like where are her open houses, or where is this, or okay, I know she drives this car. What if you leave that mail because you're not thinking, and so they already know they're interested in you,
Oh,
they already know what you look
gosh,
like,
yeah.
they know your car,
Scary.
they know your license plate, they probably know if you have a kid or not, because do you
Yeah.
have a car seat, do you have a sticker? Do not put stickers that you have children, you're proud of your children. I can't get into it right now, but please just trust me. We're not
I
announcing
agree.
our students and our honor roll and our babies on our vehicles.
Our volleyball players, I'm totally against that.
Yeah,
too.
me too. But now they see that piece of mail or that work credential, the Starbucks girl. Now they know your first and last name. If they don't have your address, because that's not visible, how hard is it to find your address?
Exactly.
And
Or at least the office you work at.
or the office you work
Yes.
at, your social
Yes.
media, and it's a perfect recipe to start stalking, harassing, or worse.
That's right.
Good things with the HAR settlement now is the whole thing of having to have a representation agreement. But one of the bigger things I used to do even before that was, before I even showed a home, I like to do pre-approval first. In my mind, I say, well, we have their social, we have their address, we have their driver's license. So I don't show any homes until I have that. And
Yeah.
then at times we may cross-reference each other to show a home. Well, give me a picture of the driver's license, send it to me, so I have that in my phone as
Yeah.
well. So
Yes.
that's a good thing.
But you guys can, I know this is going to go on YouTube. You all, if you guys have like questions, people ask questions,
Yes.
I can answer them. You can reach
Absolutely.
out to me and I can provide you answers.
Love to. So
Yeah.
I'd like to thank you, Heather, for all your time and all your information. We'll be placing all the Heather's contact information as well as her website, so you guys can actually go ahead and sign up for some of her classes. I definitely will be going because I've never noticed how much I was missing
Right.
in between all that. So if you guys need any information, like to ask any questions, please feel free to put anything in the comments, and I'll be sending links so you guys can get right in touch with her.
Yeah, and remember, this is not just for realtors or business or people in the real estate business. This is for all females. But you realtors that are watching this is very, very important for all of you. If you're a broker, if you have a team, the ladies in your office need to know this. Please make sure you contact Heather.
Yeah.
She's local here in the general Houston area. She'll go wherever she needs to go.
Yeah.
Because this is her passion. This is what she does to serve our communities.
Yeah.
So please make sure, if you have a team of brokerage with mainly ladies, even the gentlemen might want to know this because
lots
maybe
of
their
them.
wife is also a realtor, or maybe their wife is a loan officer, or whatever it is. They're in the same field, and this is of utmost important. This is part of your self-care. That's the way I saw it, and that's why when I met Heather, I made sure that I went to her class, and I made sure that I signed up to learn how to at least hold a gun properly. So thank you for joining
you,
us.
Heather.
Yes,
Appreciate
thank you
that.
so much, guys.
Thank you.